Every time that you're learning songs, you need to go to the internet and look at the chord shapes. You need to memorize all those shapes. You can't find the chords on the fretboard. You always need to look at the diagram and memorize new shapes. I'm Everton Zaquini, and I'll show you a simple way for you to find the chords throughout the fretboard, major, minor, or any other chord. Hey everybody! To memorize chords, it's an approach that many beginner students do when they are learning guitar, but this is not a pretty good way of finding chords throughout the fretboard. Imagine that you have, for every note, which we have 12 notes, you can build major chords, minor chords with seventh, chord with major seventh, so augmented, diminished. We can have different shapes for all these 12 notes. So this is a huge amount of chords that you need to memorize the shape to learn throughout the fretboard. So what's the best way, instead of you memorize, that you can find the chords throughout the fretboard, is to understand how the chords are built and how you can change some notes to get the chords that you want. I will show you 2 shapes of chords that you can use to find any chord. However, if you know the caged system, you'll be the same approach, just then you have 5 shapes that you can find any chords. So let's use common shapes that you can identify chords throughout the fretboard. First chord, let's start here with A major chord. We have this shape. The first thing that you need to think about when you want to find the different chords is that as the guitar is very visual, we have shapes, you can use the same pattern throughout the fretboard. You have the root note here, A, on string 5. And if you know that this is an A, the next note is a B, so fret 2 is a B, fret 3 is a C, fret 5 is a D, fret 7 it's an E. You can use the same shape of A to find the other chords. So you have A major chord, then you have B major chord, C major chord, D major chord, E major chord. I just move the pattern, so A, and then I just move, if I go 1 fret above, I have A sharp, 1 more, B, and C, and so on. The first thing, know that you can use the same shape to find different chords. And this way you can find any major chord with the root note on string 5. The next step for you to find, and then you can modify this chord to have major or minor, you can use this shape here and visualize the intervals inside of it. So for this you need to understand the intervals. Chords are built with 3 intervals. We get 3 notes together, which is the first, the third, and the fifth. If you can find in a chord the first, the third, and the fifth, you just move these notes to find any other chord. When you have the shape of A, you have the intervals in this order. You have root note, fifth, root, third, major third, and fifth. So A, root, the first, fifth, E, octave higher the root, A again, then you have C sharp, the third, and E, the fifth. Now, if I have this note here, what makes your chord major or minor will be the third. You need to identify the third here on this chord. We know that we have the third on string 2. Remember? Root, fifth, root, third, major third, and fifth. The difference between a major chord to a minor chord is the third that will make this a minor third. Your third here, which is C sharp, needs to come back half step down to become a minor third, so it's a C. Notice here that we have the C sharp here, and I will just move this note to fret 1, but the notes here on strings 3 and 4 that was pressed with finger 1 and 2 is the same yet. I just change fingers 2 and 3 and I press here. Now if I have a C major chord, I have A, I will do with fingers 2, 3 and 4, I will do the bar, A sharp, B, and C. If I want to do a C minor, I have C, I will move my finger 4, I need to get the note here on fret 5 to fret 4. So I will switch fingers 2 and 3 for finger 3 and 4, so I'm pressing the same notes, and the note that was on fret 5, you move to fret 4 on string 2, and now I have a C minor chord. My major third become a minor third. It's just one note. Once you know the intervals, you know that you have root, fifth, root, third, and your fifth, you can find a different chord. If you want to do a chord with the seventh, a C minor chord with the 7th. Let's use a minor 7th. Your minor 7th will be the note before the root note. In this case, if it's C, it will be a B. But if it's a minor 7th, it needs to be one whole step before your root note. You have a C, one whole step below, it's a B flat. Let's get this note here. We know that we have this note here. This is a root. If I take my finger off here, I have now pressing here with a bar this note, which is the 7th. I will switch fingers 2 for finger 3. See here, this is C major. This is C minor. If I take off my finger 4, I have the 7th now being pressed with finger 1. Now on fret 3, string 3. If I press string 3, finger 4, on fret 5, I have the root, C. If I take off, B flat on fret 3. There we go. It's important when you play to identify where you have the root, 5th, 3rd, and 7th. If I want a major 7th, just have step below the root note. Major chord, I have finger 3 here. I need to, instead of fret 5, fret 4. Move, switch finger 2 to get the note here. And now I have fret 4 being pressed here, the B. Try it, C major. C major 7th. C7. I just did this. Root, major 7, minor 7. Minor chord, same thing. The intervals will be the same, just the 3rd here. C minor, try it. I'm pressing here E flat, the minor 3rd. I will switch my root note to the major 7th. If I want, this is a C minor, major 7th. Now, if I take off my finger 2 here, I have C minor 7. What we don't press with these fingers is 3 for finger 2, finger 4 for finger 3. C minor, C minor major 7, C minor 7. And this way you can find any chords. This is C major. If I press, instead of fret 5, fret 6, with augmented 5th. When you look at a chord with the sus, you can get the 3rd, sus 4. If the 3rd, you move to the 4, just one fret above. C major, sus 4. C major, sus 4, C major. Once you understand and visualize the intervals, any chord will become easy. What you need to do is to practice the intervals inside of the chords. Where is the intervals that are close to the 5th, the 3rd, and the 7th? Next one, let's use the same approach. Now let's think about a chord shape of E. So I have E major. If I want an E minor, I just take off one finger. So it's the same. We're going to use the shape of E. E major. If I move to fret 1, F major. If I skip one fret, I have here G major. And here I can use the same thing. The intervals here on the shape of E, we have root, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, root. With finger 2, this is a major 3rd. If I want a minor chord, I just move my major 3rd half step below to become a minor 3rd. I just take off finger 2. G major has B, B, G minor has B flat. There you go, you can find the chord. If you want to find a A sharp chord, G, G, A sharp. Major, if it's minor, check out the finger. Use the same shape. Coming back to G here. Now, if I want to do a G major with major 7th, remember that I have root, 5th, and root here. I have one octave higher, this first here, which is G again. If I move half step below, get the G to an F sharp, then I have a G major 7. If I move more half step below, have F sharp, become an F, and then I have a minor 7. But we don't play it this way, we change the fingers. G major triad, G major 7, G7. Minor chord, same thing, you just move the notes. Minor, minor with major 7th, and with minor 7. Everything will be very close to the notes from the chords, from the intervals. Master the intervals. That's why I'm repeating it, because it's really important that you, when you play the chords, not only get the shape of the chord, but the notes for you to visualize the intervals. Now you need to practice this. It takes time to master all these things, to visualize the intervals inside of the chords. Start with these 2 shapes, with the shape of A, shape of E, then learn the caged system and visualize the intervals inside of the caged system, because then you can apply the same thing. You just get the intervals and you just move one note from one fret above, one fret below, and then you start to modify the chords to have major chords, minor chords, chords with major 7th, chords with minor 7th, all the different chords. These are the first steps for you to find. Instead of memorize chords, you identify and be able to find chords anywhere in the fretboard. I hope these tips are very useful for you, and that the next time that you don't know a chord, instead of looking for the shape, is that you can find a chord. Then you don't need to memorize, you just understand this, you'll be able to find many chords. If you like tips like this, remember to subscribe and ring the bell to get the lessons that I'm posting every week. Hit the like for this video to reach more people, and your comment is really important because I want to know if these tips are helping you, and also what are other difficulties that you have that I can help you with. Thanks for watching, see you next time.